Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. With special thanks to Nine Knives, Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Dragon Matrix 7, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., Tomasz, Piątkowski, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, as we push on towards the Wardstone and the end of Act 1. Not much else to say beyond that, really. We've still got a ways to go, and I'm pretty set on hitting that finale before we wrap things up today. We might run a bit long, but I think that's fine. All the more reason to jump right in. Onward, my friends. Oh, hi there. Don't mind me, just need to get to that trap there.
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Somebody, please help me! They're trying to kill me! Oh, okay, well that's kind of, disappointing. Even though we very clearly had the drop on that guy and killed him in the surprise round, he still managed to raise the alarm. But I suppose that's fine. Not like we weren't going to kill these guys anyway. Let's get that trap taken care of. And we'll have the mounted guys push up through the doorway, but the rest of our guys will set up out here in the hall. We know Vermlax have mass inflict spells, so we'll use that doorway to break up line of sight. Yeah, we just need to push up for now. Yeah, good luck with that. You just need a 31 or higher. Alright, let's start knocking out those casters. Guards down. We are about to soak damage from the Vermlax, but that is actually intentional. Nice. They can only do that once per day, so best to trigger it with as few characters as possible. That said, I did think Silo was far enough away to avoid it, so that could have been better. Okay. That actually isn't that bad. goodness. Right. Because of the revisions to mounted combat, it's now Risk doing all the movement, which leaves Seela free to do a full attack action. Man, they really ramped up mounted combat as of the latest patches. The only downside is that, for whatever reason, you can't charge during the surprise round with mounted characters anymore, but you can still charge with non-mounted characters, which is weird. And we are done.
I'm done with you.
You know, while we were clearly never in any real danger in this fight, the way they fudged that opening with the rogue who automatically alerted his friends 2 rooms over, that very much reminds me of my convention days. I used to see a lot of dungeon masters who would overcompensate when they perceived their players were cruising through a scenario too easily. They would impose these artificial health taxes or difficulty spikes just to make things more challenging, but, you know, that's a slippery slope, especially if the players notice you're doing it. I was always more of a let the dice fall as they may sort of dungeon master. If the players are on a hot streak, let them enjoy it. It's not going to last forever. No point in tainting the experience by risking them catching you essentially cheating to offset their luck. But, you know, this is a video game, so obviously it's a bit of a different scenario. I'm certainly not rankled by it. You know, I guess that does show that it really does work both ways. Because that sleep ability is obviously playing it pretty fast and loose with the rules, too. It's essentially Ember's slumber ability, but with no save. Oh, I should clarify. I don't think it's actually bad to run events that are more guided or cinematic. There are a lot of systems that actually encourage that sort of thing. But it's important that the players know what they're getting into. I'm more poking at the folks who run product demos or convention events and get so into it that they turn it into like a me versus them sort of thing when they're sitting across the table from players who really just want to test out a product. Or even worse, are participating in some sort of tournament. In that case, if the Dungeon Master decides to inexplicably start flexing on the players for some reason, I think it's pretty clear they've lost sight of what they're supposed to be doing. Oh, hi. That is a succubi, so let's get a communal protection from evil running. This definitely highlights why I cut the more slack in a game like this. An actual dungeon master would have the common sense to not let us kick open a door, spot an enemy, and then just stand there buffing ourselves before provoking the encounter.
Lead on.
This is pretty clearly a scripted event that just didn't really plan for us to come from this direction. Praise Iomade. Thank you for gracing your faithful servants with this visitation. My lady, I love you. I love you like nothing and no one else." Several knights reverently kneel before the succubi, who is wearing nothing but a smirk. With melodramatic flair, the demon sweeps a clawed hand over the heads of the knights and gives a mock blessing. "And I love you, my children, all of you together, and each one separately." "Goddess, I must confess a shameful sin. My thoughts about you, they are impure. Forgive me for my blasphemous words and base thoughts, but I can't help it. You are the most desirable of all women. No other goddess comes close to your beauty. Next to you, Sarenrae is a dull lamp, and Shaylin dust beneath your feet. Will you forgive me for loving you, and not only in a way a true believer should love his deity?" "I forgive you, my knight. I forgive you and I accept your love. But I see that you cannot forgive yourself. Your flesh craves punishment, so punish yourself. Wash away your sin with blood, and earn my love, the divine and the carnal." With trembling hands, the knight brings his blade to his face. "These eyes which dared gaze upon you with lustful intent, take them, my goddess!" The knight cuts out his eyes with a muffled moan and holds the 2 bloody lumps out to the succubus. I'm glad we're just watching this happen. "I accept your gift." The succubus gently takes the eyeballs and trails them over her stomach and breasts, decorating her skin with scarlet patterns. Then she brings them to her mouth and chews them with relish. Red saliva dribbles over her lips and chin. "Now, my knights, I want you to lick every—" "Wait, who's this? Blasphemers come to disturb our sacrament?" The succubus points at you, and the knights who still have eyes obediently turn in your direction. Hi." Sela's face turns gray, and she grips her weapon tighter. Sacrilege. She's making a mockery of what is most noble and good in us. "She's evil, but she made them think that she's good and kind, and that they must protect her. But that's just what the real gods—" "Be quiet, please, in the name of all that's holy. Stop talking." Ember claps a burned hand over her mouth. "Is this some kind of holy sacrament for you, beast? Playing with other people's minds? Mocking their faith? Come a little closer. I'll give you a blessing you won't forget." Yeah, I'm with the sword. I think we've had just about enough of this. "What are you guys, blind? This thing's clearly just messing with you." The blind knight recoils in horror. He opens and closes his mouth, lost for words, then brings his fingers up to his empty eye sockets. What did you do to me? Give me back my eyes!" "My faithful children, annihilate the heretics!" The succubus meets your gaze, her blood-stained lips stretching into a sweet smile. "Are you really going to raise your weapon against me? I am Iomedae, after all." "Hey, don't listen to her. Don't give in. Remember how you scared the crap out of that demon in the shield maze? This beast is nothing compared to that one." For a brief moment, the demon's wanton features transform into the goddess's radiant visage, but the illusion immediately dissipates. The succubi's spell didn't work. Scowling, she enters the fray. Alright, so obviously she is still our primary target. She can't dominate us, but she can still level drain. Yikes. That is not a bad start.
Out of my sight!
Darren. He's getting some pretty decent mileage out of that crossbow. Succubus down. Let's wrap this up. Poor guys. You know, I think Vex would actually feel for them. I mean, he's certainly not going to balk at killing someone who attacks him, but I feel like he'd at least want them to be doing it of their own volition. The scepter and orb are the hollow symbols of idle monarchs, who lead lives of leisure far removed from the world wound, while their people slumber peacefully under our protection. The shield and sword, these are the symbols of our queen, Galfrey, the inheritor keeper. With the shield of her righteousness she guards all her subjects, as well as all the peoples of Golarion, who cower in fear at her back. With the sword of her fury, she will strike down the faithless. I don't know about that. I mean, it's not like we've really met her, but I haven't gotten the impression she's a Hulrune-style zealot. Though, who knows? I mean, like I said, we haven't actually met her yet, so what do I know? My eyes. What has she done to me? Well, I mean, she didn't actually tell you to do that, but, yeah, that's rough. My head is killing me. That beast made us lose our minds. We need to bandage our wounds. Fair enough. You guys just chill out. Let the righteous find their wisdom, and the wise their reward. Don't tell me what to do. O Lady of Valor, Iomade, benevolent to the innocent, ruthless to the malign, with humble hearts we raise up this prayer to thee this day. Preserve our sovereign, the righteous Galfrey, from all harm, so that she may lead us to victory over the spirits of devilry and wickedness. May thy holy angels abide with us, the hand of the inheritor, who makes thy will known, and the silver twins, Lariel and Targona, who led us into battle and healed our wounds, and others of thy servants and our intercessors. And take into thy host of righteous souls gathered at thy throne the martyrs Zacharias of Canabris and Yaniel of Dresden, who died for all our sakes. We trust in thee this day. We dedicate our works, words, and thoughts to thee. May thy name live in eternal glory. I'll pass, thanks. But it is interesting to see so many familiar names all lined up like that. In fact, let's see here. Okay, right, yeah. So this is still just the same basic puzzle it was back in the beta. Though they have, they've updated some of the visual assets. We should just need to push those buttons in the order listed here in this prayer scroll. Galfrey, Inheritor, Lariel, Targona, Zacharias, and Yaniel.
My tail is restless.
Let's see here. Angel with sword and shield. Female angel with hammer, obviously Targona. That is clearly Galfrey. And that has to be Zacharias, he's the only mage here. Which, by process of elimination, would make that last one Yaniel. So, Galfrey. Inheritor. L'Ariel and Targona. Wait, I might have done the Inheritor out of order. No, that's right. Hey, look at that. To be fair, I obviously did that puzzle several times back in the beta, but I also feel like they pretty clearly choreographed a solution to you. At this point in the game, if the player's been paying attention, they would know who all these characters are, and more or less what they look like. Flail of Lightburst. +1 flail, which also inflicts an extra 1d6 positive on crit. Aside from the style factor, there's not really much reason to wield flails. Though I will admit, dual-wielding flails would look pretty badass. +1 cold iron falchion. Ooh. Amulet of Agile Fists. But this is just the basic version. All it does is grant weapon finesse. No actual bonuses beyond that. And the Lightened Harness. +1 leather barding. That also grants an additional +10 speed. And 1 additional attack of opportunity. Which, I would say is perfect for Kaz, but I didn't actually give him any barding proficiencies. Because his dex is already so high that it would just hold him back. Though it does kind of suck to miss those special bonuses. I believe I did give barding proficiencies to Risk, however. Because horses have the lowest base AC of all animal companions. So we'll just toss that on Risk for now, and I'll consider giving Kaz a barding proficiency a little later down the line. For now, I'm pretty content just keeping him focused on tripping. This brings us back out to the main hall, so I think we're pretty much done with this floor. Let's head for the nearest staircase. We actually do have that other stairway back in that secret room, but we'll start with this one. I feel like this is the intended path. Guys. Alright, are we missing someone, or are we just not close enough? A nice little assortment of scrolls. We might actually be able to use some of those. Room's clear. The divine power of heaven seems to radiate from this painting. That might be the reason why it remained hidden from the demon's eyes and avoided desecration. Neat. Though, again, more or less useless to us because we have no intention of resting here unless we absolutely have to. But it is nice to have options. We've got some shear. Thanks, guys.
I will fight.
Oh, that is interesting. They only targeted one each, so that really does seem to imply that they are basically just casting a divine version of Ember's Slumber Hex. Albeit a version with no save, so, you know, slightly better.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
That said, I will admit, they're only really helping with fights we would have steamrolled anyway. And there's Darren, with what I believe is his fourth crit in a row today. Nice. Now we just need to mop these guys up real quick. And of course we still have to check that other door. Gotta say, that looks like a slightly more ominous door than usual. Huh. I think we might actually almost be done here. Alright, let's see what we've got. A new batch of living hearts for my rituals is finally here. Very good. My Lord Discari, I offer this sacrifice to you. That is a rather bold proclamation. Though, to be fair, you certainly don't seem to have any shortage of cannon fodder on hand. Let's see here. Oof, level 11. That's rough. Though, the AC is actually not that bad. Yeah, I think we've got this. We'll just have Vex and Seela push up on the caster, and the rest of our guys will run interference.
Cover me, all right?
Oh. Actually, that wasn't that bad. Oh, very nice. Now let's lay down some cover fire for Wall Jeff. Interesting.
I will see to your demise.
I would not have expected them to rush the door. Oh yeah, we're fine. Goodbye. Waldjif will just keep these guys distracted. Wait for support. The cavalry has arrived. Minor hit on risk. Nice. Moving up.
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
Well, Shear's awake.
Survive me.
Yep, there he is.
Precision and grace.
Ah, I guess Darren's used up all his crits. And I think we're pretty much done. Yeah, just the one guy left, and he is still sleeping. Overextended Waldjif just slightly, but otherwise I feel like we played that pretty well.
Missed me already.
Yeah, looking back on it, I think the one main thing I would have done differently if I redid it is I would have had Waldjif toss up a shield or mirror image spell before I tossed him into combat like that. But he still did pretty well. Amulet of Natural Armor +2. And a Cloak of Resistance +2. Nice. As well as a Dark Glowing Scythe. +2 Scythe. 1d3 extra negative energy damage. And on hit, the target must pass a moderate reflex save, or suffer a fairly trivial amount of additional negative energy damage. No big deal. That's an interesting weapon. Though we're not really set up for it, and that would just end up working against us every time we ran into undead. The key has been eroded by drops of acid, and befouled with scraps of human skin. Well, that just seems unsanitary. We've got a secret door. We'll check that out in a second. Okay, I feel like there's an unusual number of spoons here, but that's fine. I'm not one to judge. We all need hobbies. Bulky Pick. +1 heavy pick. On crit, the enemy becomes fatigued for 1d3 rounds. Interesting. I mean, that's not a bad ability, especially with no save, but sadly it is definitely held back by being on a heavy pick. We've already seen that biography extract. That's the one about L'Ariel and Targona. But yeah, sadly, the bulky pick would only have a 5% chance of proccing per swing, and when it did proc, it would inflict quadruple damage, which under any normal circumstances would probably kill most opponents you're hitting with it, in which case the fatigue is wasted anyway. Hey, who dragged all these barrels in here? Stop! You can't come in here! I was ordered to... Ha ha ha! A fine trick! Keep it up and I might invite you to join our club! That's probably normal. There do seem to be a lot of odd strangers floating around Canabras these days. Also, it is nice to see Foulsnout again, if just briefly. I can't help but notice that it wasn't considered evil that we tricked him into blowing himself up, along with more of his friends. This sacred image depicts a man dressed in a robe and holding a wand. The inscription reads, Zacharias of Canabras, the Holy Martyr. Interesting. I imagine that was intended to help us with the statue puzzle downstairs. Though I will note that the statue was holding a staff, not a wand. So it's debatable how much that would have actually helped us. The Collapse. +1 Cold Iron Warhammer. On crit, all enemies within 15 feet must pass a moderate fortitude save or fall prone. Which is fun. Though, sadly, once again, not something we're really geared for. I mean, we could toss it to Seela, but I feel like she's really more of a longsword kind of gal. Alright, let's check the doors. We've got at least 3 exits. 4. We've got 4 exits. Let's start with the one that we just unsealed. Mordant War Axe. +1 Dwarven War Axe. That inflicts an extra 1d3 acid damage. Not terrible, not great. Though I will note that most demons are resistant to acid, so that would really only help with cultists. This goes out to the balcony. Okay, let's check this side room. Elven notes from the Grey Garrison. Nice. That's the notes that the storyteller was asking for. Interesting that they'd just be sitting out on a table like this. I mean, he did say that he had asked about them specifically, so I suppose the most likely explanation is that they were either preparing to hand them over, or that folks like Halrin were just trying to figure out why he wanted them in the first place. Honestly, having met Halrin, I'd probably lean towards the latter. Oh, hi. Well, this is awkward. tuba bow, both rocking long spears. Nice hit.
Surrender, or else!
Angle's a little awkward. Wow. I'm starting to feel like I may have underestimated raptors. Though I'm still pretty happy with Kaz as well.
So many plans and hopes have gone up in smoke along with this city, and so many are still yet to burn. Soon.
Oh my. Knocked me down with a feather. That was the great demonic queenship, Arilu herself. Yes, if my eyes did not deceive me, we just saw the most hated person in all of Mendev. Arilu Vorlesh. I feel like you guys are jumping to conclusions. It clearly says mysterious woman right there, not Arilu Vorlesh. And as we've established, Canabris is lousy with mysterious people. Don't mind me, just removing yet another heart from yet another chest. Oh, I see. Interesting. Oh, yeah, we've got this. This page depicts a woman in full armor, holding her sword aloft towards the sky. The inscription reads, Yaniel of Dresden, the Holy Martyr. Right, which is just yet another clue for that puzzle we've already solved. Though I do appreciate that they had redundant clues for folks who were somehow still stumped. Keep your eyes open. There's another trap right here. Why, thank you. Okay, so that leads back out to the balcony as well.
Something wrong?
Let's clear that trap.
Might be trap, might be treasure. Fine.
Okay. Let's carefully bring everyone around this second trap. We'll have to crack this door to get to the panel.
Trust in yourself.
Meditate on your mistakes. It might make you feel better.
Oh, I see. Lan?
Always be ready for the worst.
We don't want to neglect the dretches. Barden back, along with a whole passel of extra mooks. Minotaur down. Oh, shoot. I forgot to move up Zorm. Sorry, buddy. Alright, we need to knock out those crowd controllers. That's the bard. Ow. Waljiff, buddy, I am going to need you to try slightly harder than that.
Endure this!
Thank you, Lan. Interesting. I feel like that might not have been the best move. Goodness. Seela.
Distract them from me.
Good to have you back, Waljiff.
Make every strike count.
Okay, let's mop up. Yes, that is a shoe. We're under no real threat at this point, but we might as well do it right. And that is that.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Traps down, which is what we came in here for. Though I'm certainly not going to complain about extra loot. You know, on the one hand, I respect hiding loot in a boot heel compartment. It's a classic, but imagine trying to walk around with 5 ounces of gold coins rattling around in your boot. I will say, I was never really the type of dungeon master who liked to keep track of the minutiae of encumbrance. But I did spot check my players' encumbrances from time to time. Usually right as they were doing something acrobatic or athletic for maximum hilarity. Nothing quite like trying to vault a chasm or scale a sheer surface, only to realize you've got like 200 pounds of coinage strapped to your hip. Moving on. Ah, zombies. Or ghouls?
You've crossed the wrong line.
Okay, damage reduction, so they're zombies. Wow, I could certainly get used to that. We've got a couple of ghouls in back. Oh. Right. Ghoul stalkers have sneak attack. Noted. I feel like I should have already known that. That's fine. We've got this. Nah, save your spell slots. You deserve some peace, brothers and sisters. Let the goddess embrace you.
Rules are made to be broken.
Oof. 24 on religion. That's pretty steep. How are we on religion? Oh, not great. That's a 60% chance of failure. So, you know what? Let's make use of that oddball fan we found earlier. Ah, there it is. Pardon me, Waljif, I have need of whatever the hell this thing is. Oh, wait, no. We have to choose a specific skill. There we go. And what is that? That's, +5, okay.
I did it! It happens sometimes.
Nice. I would have been quite cross if, after all that, we had still flubbed the check. This ancient font once sanctified water for church rituals, but demons have befouled it by filling the basin with human intestines. Its holy power might return should someone cleanse this place. What, you mean like we just did? Oh, and we also missed a door. I believe this is our last room for floor 2.
Smile. The world's not ending just yet.
Ah, Brimarack. Spellcaster, so that's got to be our priority.
Doubt is the heart's greatest challenge.
Nice, nice. And we have a second Brimarack in back. Plus a cleric. Die, please. Alright, let's push up on the other one. Thank you, Darren. Reminder, he does not have precise shot yet. He's just rolling really well. Okay, now for the rest of these guys. Lovely. And one more. Not too shabby. Man, Scylla and Vex just tear things up. Oh, no, we are almost certainly going to flub that world knowledge check. But we'll at least give it a shot. It's a tattered, blood-spattered drawing. Yeah, that seems about right. Thanks, Darren. Very helpful.
This is my kind of work.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, based on positioning. This would lead back down to where we fought Orathubo, the secret room right past him. So in theory, if we had come here first, we could have used this to sneak up right behind him. And I think we're done with the second floor. Yeah. Let's push for that next staircase.
Why did you drag me here, you wench? To mock me one last time? Go on, finish me! Drink my blood! Devour my soul! Just get on with it. Let me die at last.
The dwarf rasps, struggling to speak through his cut lips. Staunton lies on the floor, wounded and glaring at Minaga with loathing, as she leans over him.
Staunton, light of my life, don't be so silly. I could never hurt you. I brought you away from the battle to save you. My love, you don't belong in this grubby city where everyone hates you. Come away with me. You know I have always loved you.
The Olitu caresses his face, and the soft glow of a healing spell closes his wounds.
You lying filth! You have the gall to say that to my face? But it was you. It was all you. You're the reason I lost everything. You're the reason why everyone despises me!
So it was me who brought shame upon you in front of the people you called friends? It was me who mocked you year after year, spat on you, forced you to do dirty, demeaning work like you were a drudge, and not the bravest of knights. No, it was all of them, the Crusaders and their witless queen. If you remember the day Dresden fell, I asked you to be its new ruler. You refused, of course, you and your principles. But look what's become of you.
They talk about love, but they are really talking about a terrible disaster, like an earthquake, or a hurricane, or a shipwreck.
Perhaps there is another kind of love. But in my experience of love, if it doesn't feel like you've been through a shipwreck, then it's not worthy of the name.
Are we really talking about this right now, right behind these guys? Alright, Darren, I'll bite. What's that make you? A pile of rocks, or the ship that gets torn apart crashing into them?
I sense the trap in your question. I take it you cast me in the role of the ship? You think I am doomed to be dashed against the rocks? And who will play the lucky rocks, I wonder? But to answer your question, I see myself as the wind. All this drama is beneath me.
Darren looks straight at you. Well, I mean, the wind would be what's pushing the ship into the rocks. Darren, what exactly are you in this analogy?
I'm sorry to say that there is truth in the demon's words. The Crusaders really have treated him terribly. I say this as a criminal who has been forgiven by other knights of Iomedae. But like all demons, she has built a mountain of lies and deception upon this one grain of truth.
Sure. I'm sorry, Sela. I'm still trying to wrap my head around Darren's flirting. If I'm the rocks, is he pushing someone into me, or...
My offer still stands. Come away from here, my love. You will rule Dresden as a king, and I will be your queen.
Oh, right, you guys are still here. Look, Staunton, I personally wouldn't hook up with the eyeless monster, but you do you, man.
See? Your life is one big joke to these ungrateful swine. They'll mock you either way, whether you're miserable and alone, or happy with me.
I've heard people laugh at their own troubles, and their troubles went away. I've heard people laugh at the troubles of others, and it made them so much worse. Please, don't laugh at the girl with no eyes. It makes her very, very sad.
Huh. Noted, Ember. Sorry. Staunton gets to his feet and looks at the eyeless Lolitu with a strange expression on his face. A mountain would sooner weep than this grim dwarf, but tears now well in his eyes.
Dearest, it's all right. I'm here. We'll never be parted again. Let's go. Come.
Inappropriate.
Get back!
grasping his weapon, Staunton slashes at Monago's eyeless face, and with surprising agility for one of his stature, flees up the stairs.
Curses! Ugh. Stubborn as a mule. Never mind, my pet. Never mind. You won't get far. You will kiss this scratch and beg for forgiveness. You will be mine. Wholly, eternally, and willingly.
The Lolito runs a hand over her face, staining her delicate fingers with blood. There is just a lot to unpack here between Darren's tortured metaphors and that very dysfunctional relationship we just observed. You know, one of the really fascinating things with running Vex is that I do see these responses to the meaner options I would normally never pick. And they do provide some interesting context. Well, hello there. Doradnu. Looks to be a level 10 fiendish Minotaur. Yet another name level threat. Alright, let's do this. Only this time I think we'll refrain from overextending Waljif. Yeah, we probably shouldn't do that either. And now you die.
You won't survive me.
Or you just tank all our hits because you have DR10. That is also an option. No, we'll just stick with that first one, the one where you die. Any objections? No? Fantastic. Blocker. +1 Cold Iron Great Axe. On hit, enemy must pass a low Fortitude savings throw, or become prone. Well, I do like that it's on hit, but once again, that low DC really holds it back. Just as well, I suppose, given that we're clearly not set up for strength-based great weapons. There's that unholy symbol of Discari we ID'd last time through. So once again, we stand on the cusp of the fractured Wardstone. Let's hope this goes slightly better than it did for us last time round. We could certainly use a nice reward. That's one big stone, no doubt about it. The city's greatest sight. Before it was tossed here, upside down, that is. Yeah, it is quite a spectacle. I was kind of expecting more, though. Upon entering the chamber where the vanquished Wardstone resides, the Crusaders could have expected many things. An ambush, deadly spells, or a horde of enemies. But not an empty hall, still and silent, with no Monago or her henchmen, only the obelisk and the glimmers of light dancing on the dirty floor. But then again, all is not as placid as it seems. Vex Godglove once again hears the seething choir. This time the voices sound louder, more insistent. One step, another, and suddenly Vex sees the wardstone, not as it was a moment ago, but somehow completely different. It is no monolith emanating light. It is a cage made of pure energy. The place where Discari struck looks like a festering wound, from which tendrils of dirty red and purple darkness creep throughout the entire artifact. And there, inside, 2 hosts of flaming warriors are locked in battle. One is light, the other blood red, but they are all waiting. For what? Well, I think we've got a pretty good idea of what that might be. The Light Warriors speak of duty, service, and sacrifices made. Their words reveal the truth of the Wardstones. Each one contains a host of angels, volunteers from heaven who committed to this indefinite imprisonment in order to guard mortal kind from the demonic threat. They make no complaint, they ask no easing of their burden. If the goddess and her herald offered them the same choice again, they would consider it the ultimate honor to sacrifice their freedom for the cause. The angels know Discari's evil plan. When the last of the Light Warriors falls, the Wardstone will become a deadly explosive that will destroy everything around it, and the other obelisks in the chain will meet the same fate. The Light Warriors pray for help. They plead for someone to strike down their fallen brethren. Those who succumbed to the demonic corruption are already beyond salvation, but if they are stopped, it will allow the Wardstone to heal, and the Light Host to continue its duty. The crystal chisel discovered in the ruins of Canabris is the ideal weapon for this task. It will cut out the corruption along with those who have succumbed to it, and restore the Wardstone's full power. Right, and then we can also see that there would have been another option to explore if we had retained the power of that Aeon we encountered, which, like I said back then, simply wouldn't have made sense for Vex. He's more the sort to let people make their own terrible decisions and then live with the consequences, which in some cases may involve being killed by Vex. The Red Warriors speak of pain and lies and disillusionment. Their words reveal the truth of the Wardstones. The barrier surrounding the World Wound was built on the bondage and suffering of countless angels. Every injury dealt to the Wardstone, these angels experience as physical agony. The pain is driving them insane. Deceived by the hollow platitudes about duty and service, they suffer torment day after day for the sake of ungrateful mortals who do not even know their names. Enough! The Red Warriors know that their blades, now turned against their former brethren, hasten the triumph of Discari and his servants. Once the Wardstone has been wholly conquered by corruption, it will become a deadly weapon under the demon's control. Some of the obelisk's prisoners beg for freedom, while others pray only for death. But they all agree that this existence is unendurable. The crystal chisel discovered in the ruins of Canabris is the perfect weapon for a massacre. It cannot force open the door for those who wish to escape, but it can destroy the Wardstone along with all its prisoners, willing and unwilling. None will be able to claim victory, but all will be gifted a merciful death that will end their suffering once and for all. And there it is, the fate of 2 angelic hosts, faithful and fallen, and the fate of Canabris, perhaps even old Mendev, now rest in the hero's hands. How will he proceed? Whatever this crystal chisel may be, its power is great indeed. It can destroy the stone along with all its inhabitants, or it can mend it by killing the angel defectors within. What it cannot do, alas, is free those who wish to escape, and keep the stone intact for those who wish to remain. But somewhere, deep within the hero's soul, the familiar ire seethes, endless rage, unbridled hatred. What will happen if it is unleashed here, at the stone? Oh man. You know, I did give some thought to what we were going to do once we got here, but I never came to a definite decision, because none of these options really feel like they would be fully appropriate for Vex. You know, ideally there would be a trickster option, but there isn't, so we have to make do with one of these angel or demon type responses. And as much fun as it might be to unleash the rage, I feel like that would have long-term ramifications we really don't want to deal with. The good option is obviously the most ideal. I mean, that's the one we chose in the beta, but I feel like we should avoid retreading more than we really have to. So I guess we'll fall back on Vex's vindictive nature, his worship of Callistria. We'll assume the Red Angels have essentially wronged him, in which case the only appropriate solution is to massacre them. Which, you know, as a side effect will also save the entire city, so there's that. A righteous hand never misses. The chisel strike destroys the fallen angels who had succumbed to corruption and betrayed their brethren in sacred mission. The warriors of the light greet their deliverer with a joyous battle cry. Cleansed of corruption, the stone fills with blinding light. The Crusaders succeeded. The angels' battle within the Wardstone has ended, and the threat to the entire chain of stones has been eliminated. Of course, this has won no guarantees of safety for the future. What happened here can happen again. The Mendevians can no longer rely on Iomede's gift as once they did. But the danger has passed. For now.
Look at them, Suture. They're rejoicing like children. The storm is coming and none of them sees it.
Shall we add to their festivities, my lady? How about a little lightning to burn their flesh?
Oh no, Suture. We'll leave such frolics to Discari's little gnats. We are here for something else. Something I have greatly anticipated for a long, long time.
Intriguing. The blisteringly vivid memory releases you, and you return from the depths of the past to the present. You feel a fresh breeze on your face. The energy expelled from the Wardstone has blown the roof off the Grey Garrison. The Wardstone's energy suffuses you, and through you flows into your allies.
What an odd sensation. I've had my fair share of perception-altering experiences, but this is a novel one.
What are you doing here? How? Ah, I see. Tricks from your pathetic goddess. So even Iomade will resort to dirty tricks when you have her cornered. Don't celebrate yet, mortal. There's no one to hide you from me now.
How did Minago get here? She doesn't rush into the chamber. She has been here the whole time. But some unknown spell has stopped you and your enemies from seeing each other.
Look, you're already wounded. Pathetic mortal. I'll have no trouble finishing you off now. You'll die anyway!
Minago's face twists in frustration. Looking down, you notice that the wound in your chest has opened up again, and is bleeding as if you were hit by a sword. But there is no pain. All you feel is power filling you. Right before your eyes, the edges of the wound start to join and heal until it closes fully. The demoness looks formidable with her entourage around her, but her threats ring hollow to you now. You look at her and feel like a titan looking at an ant. Overwhelming, all-conquering power fills you. What, that little demoness? Those irritating hordes of the abyss? The gods themselves are your only equals now. Hey Minago, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't I promise Callistria that I was going to kill you last time we ran into each other?
I've never wondered if demons feel pain the same way mortals do. This would be an occasion to find out. I shall be delighted to observe this execution.
Darren grins, cruelly.
Trying to be brave, are we? That's nice. But never dish out threats if you can't make good on them. Your goddess sent you to die. You think that's a victory? All you've done is postpone the deaths of all the other mortals. And not even for very long. But your wait for death is over. You won't see what I'm going to do to your little friends, because I'm going to kill you right now.
Oh yeah? Good luck with that. Because I appear to have the touch and the power. Oh, hi. So, 0 damage to our primary target, but like 30 to everyone behind him. Wow, Kaz. My goodness. Oh, sorry. I kind of thought that would be a bit more discriminating. They'll be fine. No? Ember doesn't feel like casting right now. Oh. Vex is fatigued, apparently. And Minago has moved over here. Sorry. Okay, let's make sure we're still tagging Minago.
Endure this.
Oh, good. So apparently being fueled with raw mythic power does not make you immune to being stunned. walk it off. Alright, I think that's about enough of that.
How are you doing that? Where is your power coming from?
All traces of Inago's bravado have disappeared, and now her voice trembles with panic.
Inago! To me!
Staunton, my darling! I knew you'd come back for me.
Shut it! Get over here now. Get behind me. If you want to finish her off, you'll have to step over my dead body first. Killing me won't be a challenge, I know. But I can last long enough to give her time to escape.
The dwarf turns his hard eyes on you. Come on, Staunton, don't do this. I was just starting to like you. You really think this is going to help your cause?
Maybe you're right, but you won't change your mind either way. So why waste my time trying to convince you? No matter what he does, no matter what he says, Staunton Vhane will always be considered a traitor. Well then, Staunton Vhane will finally be the traitor you've always wanted.
People are always calling me a monster and a freak. Tell me, how come I've never once considered listening to them and becoming the terrible thing everyone claims I am?
You might have a point. If you'd been hearing those things every day for 70 years straight!
70 years? Whoa, at least I won't live long enough to suffer through anything like that. Lucky me, I suppose.
Enough talking. Monago, cast your spells and get out of here! I'll hold him off! Quickly! Before I change my mind!
No, my sweet, I won't abandon you. We'll leave this place together, and we'll go where we can be happy.
Go! Let me finally...
Staunton clenches his teeth, swallowing the rest of his words. Panting, he looks between Monago and you, and back again. At last, the dwarf nods.
God damn it all! Let's go!
The demon and the traitor vanish in a magical haze. You feel the energy thrumming through your body and soul start to fade. It doesn't leave you, it hides somewhere deep down, leaving behind a small amount of incredible energy. As well as the understanding that you will one day master that inconceivably huge power. Fantastic. And with that, Act 1 comes to a close. As we collapse to the ground because of that parting spell Monago hit us with. Just one more thing we owe her for, I suppose. Anyway, I feel like this is a good place to hit the pause button. We're right on the cusp of Act 2, but we can't actually leave the garrison until we assign that first mote of mythic power. And I would like to look at our options before I commit. I do already have a pretty good idea of what we're going for. Mythic Beast for Vex, Sela, and Lan. And then Mythic Spell abilities for our other three, for Waldjif, Ember, and Darren. Most likely Enduring Spells, Ascendant Damage, Fire, and Boosted Healing, respectively. But I also know they've added a few new Mythic abilities since last time I played, so I'd like to at least take a look at those. That said, we will hit the pause button for now. I'll take a look at our options and slim down our inventory so we can actually leave. And we will pick up here next time. Though I may take a short break before that because we're like 30 hours into this game and just getting into Act 2 of 7, not counting the DLC that they're about to drop. So I could use a slight breather, I think. But yeah, we'll pick up here next time. As the adventure continues, and we actually finally get to the Crusade stuff. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. As always, links are in the description.
Let's go. Come.